Webinar and conference calls. How everyone doing?
Doing great. So you're doing great, man.
All right, all right. Well, we got about 2 minutes before we get started. This would be a great time to leave your name and where you're calling from.
Gloria James, Baltimore, Maryland.
Gloria, welcome.
Sydney Livingston, Arkansas.
Arkansas, welcome.
AJ Bolden from Texas.
Mr. Bolden, Texas in the house.
Right, Doc. I will talk later then.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
And we're also live on Facebook, so we want to welcome our Facebook audience as well. Another minute, and we'll go ahead and get started. Hope everyone's having a fantastic evening. Got about another 30 seconds or so of introductions for all you like to introduce yourselves. Again, just your name, where you're calling from.
I'm Lisa from New York.
New York in the house.
Of course, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, welcome.
Denise County, Buffalo.
Buffalo. And I see we got Miss Pam Sam from Houston, Texas. She's broadcasting live. Buffalo, New York. Houston, Texas. All right, welcome.
This is Denise from Buffalo with all the snow.
Buffalo with all the snow. And I actually got snowed in Buffalo before. I made it all the way into Buffalo and got snowed in.
Well, we sure taking it out right now.
Well, you know, it's a good thing I was with good company because I was sure enough snowed in.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, give me 1 second here and I'll go ahead and mute out our line. 1 second.
Everyone else is now muted.
All right, we got our line is muted there. Let me double check our Facebook feed here, make sure we're doing good on our live feed. Oh, a little blurry here. What's going on? What's going on? That's a little better. All right, so our live feed is looking good. We are ready to rock and roll. I am TC Chambers, the Executive Vice President Infinity with Icon. And as always, is my plum-pleasing pleasure to be the one to present to you tonight's information on Icon, the personal financial success company. So, you know, we call ourselves the personal financial success company because that's exactly what we've been blessed and fortunate enough to be able to do, is to empower thousands of individuals and families with the knowledge and tools they need to improve upon their personal finances. Now, the name of the company, Icon, is short for My Economy, because the same way the U.S. government has an economy, the city and state you live in have an economy, well, so do we. Our household income represents our economy. And as the CEOs of our economy, how well we're doing as a CEO is indicative of our financial situation. And really, our financial situation is what is a compilation of the decisions we made in the past. So the decisions we made in the past as a CEO of our finances is where we are today. And if for those folks that are joining us here on Facebook, there's a subtitle there that says, are you in excuse mode or action mode? And that's a very important question to ask, because with the shutdown that went on that's now over, that may start back up in 3 months or 3 weeks, and the different things that are going on in our economy and around the world, many times we look outside as reasons why we're where we are or not where we want to be. And the difference between excuse mode is, if where we are now is not where we want to be, excuse mode is somebody else's the cause of us not getting where we want to get to. It's never us. And in many of the situations, it's always us. And think about it this way, and then I'll move on. Just something to think about, to open your minds as we go through this overview. Now, it was very unfortunate what happened with those families, those 800,000 families that was affected by this government shutdown. Well, years ago, and as recently as last year, we've seen big box companies, huge companies, shut down and go away. We've seen major companies shut down and outsource to other countries. All those jobs gone. So for anyone in the United States that have a job to think that it's totally safe and there's no reason to put any precautions in place, i.e. an emergency fund, see, there's no one watching this Facebook feed or on this conference call or webinar that has never ever heard of someone saying you should be building an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months emergency fund because emergencies happen. Well, unforeseen, unfortunately, 800,000 families were thrust into an emergency. But guess what? Had the prior year or the prior 2 years, they'd begun building an emergency fund and they had 3 to 6 months of living saved up in their emergency fund, then that past month would have been an inconvenience and not an emergency. So 6 months from now, 1 year from now, if you get a pink slip or if you're the government, there's a government shutdown, will it be an inconvenience for you, CEO, or will it be an emergency? See, so the actions we took years ago, 1 year ago, months ago, are why we're where we are today. But guess what? 6 months, 1 year, 2 years from now, the decisions we make starting tonight impact where we'll be. So you are the CEO, so I'm speaking to you from a CEO perspective. Now, if we look at the company, Iconz itself, it's a 14-year-old, debt-free, technology-driven company based in Atlanta, Georgia. And we've been fortunate and blessed enough to be able to empower tens of thousands of families who use this information, these resources, increase their take-home pay, their cash flow in excess of $450 million. Now you have to understand, with all the access we have, now in particular our associates, with all the access they have to our resources, with advances in technology, with all the negative impacts of things that are going on in the economy, those things that push you into getting your life to the next level, getting in business, we anticipate easily our associates, those that come in business with us, collectively to increase their cash flow in excess of another $100 million in the next 12 months. Now, our company's mission is very simple but very powerful, and that's to provide tens of thousands of families, millions overall, with the knowledge and tools they need to obtain personal financial success. Now, what does that mean? What's personal financial success? What is that? Well, it's simple. See, I maintain that most adults, most working Americans have two major objectives. You can sugarcoat them or paint them in any kind of way you want. Bottom line is they want to make enough money now during their working years to be able to take care of themselves and their family. And then ultimately they want to be able to maintain that same lifestyle or improve it during their retirement years. Unfortunately, millions of Americans misunderstand that word retirement. See, retirement doesn't mean, in this context, of work 20 years for a company, leave that company, work 20 years for the military, retire from the military, get a retirement check. It's not enough. So you now have to have a career change to start another career. That's not retirement. Retirement is when you're financially independent. When you stop working, but you have enough assets that bring you all the income you need to be able to maintain or improve your lifestyle. That's what we were under the impression we were going into or getting ourselves into when we were told, get a good education, use that education, get a good job, put money away in your retirement account, and then down the road you'll be okay. So that down the road okay is no longer having to work, but income producing assets bring you all the dollars you need. Now, what are those income producing assets? Because see, in order to reach that second objective during our working years, while we're working on our jobs or in businesses to earn income, because in order to do that, we have to exchange time and services to earn that income. Simultaneously, we have to be building and growing enough income-producing assets where the income off of those assets take care of us without having to work. Assets like stocks, bonds, retirement accounts like 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, real estate portfolios, residual-based businesses, MLM downlines. So let me ask you a question. So that's what you have to get done simultaneously while you're working. But we spent a lot of time getting the education that positioned us to be able to get those jobs. My question to you is, how much time do you think those same Americans that spent tens of thousands of dollars, 4+ years to get the education to get the job, now how much time are they spending learning about finance and money? What's a stock? What's a bond? What's an annuity? What's compound interest? See, if you don't understand compound interest, how do you know if you're putting enough money away in your retirement account when and if it'll ever be there to take care of you? So you're just kind of shooting in the wind if you don't then learn about money. So we were told that our money was going to do things to take care of us down the road, but we haven't allocated any time specific to financing money so we can learn and grow. That's why we started MyEcon, to help those folks catch up, give you specifically what you need. You don't have to go to a 4-year university. It doesn't take another 18 months to get it. We're going to give you the knowledge and tools tonight, right now, but as a CEO, you have to decide if you're going to be in action mode. Because if you get in action mode, then you can catch up. If you're watching this and you're not 20 years down the road, 10 years down the road in your career, and you're just starting, you're very fortunate because you're going to get the information that shortens your gap to get to retirement. Now, you have to understand that in America, we have one of the best platforms than anywhere else in the world. One is built on capitalism, and it's explained like one of my buddies from Alabama once told me, TC, in America, you get all you can all you get, and then you sit on your can. And when it's time for you to kick the can, you pass it on. So you have the ability to put as much in your can as you desire. But the knowledge and tools you have to access the $100 trillion of wealth in America determine how full your can gets. Now, we're the wealthiest country in the world. We're the home of over 500 billionaires living here in the United States, created here in the United States. Over 10 million millionaires here in the United States. So there's no shortage of wealth, no shortage of money. But unfortunately, Americans feel like they're falling behind. They say 80% of Americans feel like they're falling behind financially. In the wealthiest country in the world, 69% of working Americans have less than $1,000 in the bank. In the wealthiest country in the world. 68 million Americans have poor credit. That means they're paying too much for their mortgages. They're paying too much for their car notes. They're paying too much for the use of credit cards. So that's financial ruin in the making because they're overpaying for everything. So they have less cash flow during their working years to build those income-producing assets. But guess what? It's not all doom and gloom. By no means. It's just you have to know where the source is of the knowledge and the tools, where the source is that's going to get you out of the mess, and the source is you. You're going to be able to do it, no one else. So you can't rely on corporate America to do it because corporate America loyalty isn't to you, the employee. Corporate America's loyal is to their shareholders, their stockholders, their board. You can't look to the U.S. government to save you because it's a capitalistic country that says, here, get all you want. It's not like a socialist country like Sweden where it says we're going to kind of divide it all up evenly, make sure everybody got just about the same. Yeah, there's going to be some that have more, but the mass is going to get just what they need. That's not how it operates here in the United States. That's why so many people come here. So once you understand the playing field, now you have to say, okay, why do they say that 96% of the workforce never reach that second objective, where they have enough assets coming in that they can stop working? Why is that? Well, there are some obstacles that we weren't taught or prepared for that work against us. Here's such obstacles. There's 5 of them. 1, high taxes. See, when we're getting our degree work in Ivy League and HBCUs and private institutions and those phenomenal state and local institutions of higher learning, they didn't teach us how tax is going to impact our money. They didn't prepare us for when we say we're going to make $50,000 a year, that, a third of it gets taken away from us before we even get our money. We weren't taught how to counter that. Because of that, we based our lifestyles on our whole paycheck, but then we're shorted a third of the money. Now that's a third less cash flow we have to go into our retirement accounts, our 401ks, 403bs. But we don't know how bad that is because we were never taught compound interest. So we don't know how much we should be having or accumulating in there anyway. Financial literacy is a must. The second obstacle, high debt. See, if you really understood that debt is a robber, see, you got to service the debt. So all that money you're paying on interest are dollars that you're paying money on, you're not earning money off of. So your money's not working for you, it's working against you. So it's robbing you of those valuable dollars, compounding and growing for you, making those $1, $5, $20, $100 babies. We weren't taught to be preemptive, to be responsible with our usage of credit cards and our debt and keeping our word with creditors. We weren't taught how critical that was going to be. In fact, let me tell you how bad it is. most parents right now aren't teaching their children. Their credit may be bad. They're not telling their children anything about responsible usage of credit cards. So they're allowing their children to be set up to fall down that same rabbit hole. So you understand, if 68 million people, 68 million Americans have bad credit, there's obviously something not being taught to the masses. Because those 68 million are highly educated. But there's certain things that catch up with them that cause them to end up in that position. So that's 68 million people that are paying too much for mortgages. We were told to be homeowners, but we weren't taught to stay in a position where we got huge, high interest rates on it. Car notes, the same thing. So we have to get the tools we need to counter that, to repair that, to correct that. Well, guess what? If you're losing a third of your paycheck to taxes, another good portion of your paycheck is paying interest to service the debt, because your credit is poor, there's not going to be very much money to invest. So when you look up 10 years, 15 years, you're like, wow, there's not much in there. That's because you weren't prepared. You weren't taught about that villain called taxes. You weren't armed with the knowledge and tools that you'll be aware of tonight that can lower your taxes, let you keep more of those tax dollars. Use some of those dollars to rapidly pay down debt. Get more cash flow, spend your cash instead of putting things on credit cards. It's very, very simple. You're going to have the blueprint tonight how to take your finances to the next level. Now, no one's taught us about inflation. See, if you understand that inflation grows 3 to 4% a year, then it will be unacceptable for you as a CEO to not have your household income at a minimum grow 5% a year. And see, the reason I point out your household income, because it's not your job's fault or your job's responsibility to make sure your economy grows the way it's supposed to. That's your economy. See, that business owner called your employer, they're not responsible for your financial goals. You as a CEO is responsible for your financial goals. That CEO, that employer of yours is answering to and responsible for their shareholders and their board. That's who they're paying more attention to. So it's you on you as a CEO that if you get no pay raise in 2019, then you have to put something in motion that ensures that your household income goes up at least 5%. And what we're going to tell you is that entrepreneurship is a better way to do that than getting a part-time job or begging for overtime. And you'll see why in a second. So you have to put systems in place to allow you to ensure that your income is outgrowing the pace of inflation. Eggs are going to go up, groceries are going to go up, gasoline is going to go up. But if you're spending the same money every single year as those things go up, you're going to have less and less and less to buy, build, and grow those income-producing assets that's going to set you free and get your 40 to 60 hours back. Now, let's go understand how the wealthy do it. Let's understand what the 4% that were able to hit that second objective. What are the principles that they use? See, these are principles. First principle, business ownership. See, I want you to be thinking, or even write down while I'm talking, your top 10, top 20 most financially successful in America. They're going to be business owners. Their pay system is going to be different from the masses. See, the masses' pay system is linear. You simply exchange your time and services for dollars. But when you don't exchange time and service for dollars, you have no money coming in. So what happens when you want to stop working? What happens when you go away for 2 weeks, you want to stay 3 or 4? There's a problem. So you have to have a leveraged pay system. See, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't get paid just on when he goes in and works and takes meetings and markets his company. No, he gets paid off 13,000 employees. They're 40 hours a week along with his. See, they don't get paid just one time. He gets paid over and over and over off of advertisers that pay monthly to advertise on Facebook. See, all you have to do is watch the writing. And guess what? Those individuals that are on your top 20, they take advantage of hot trends that go on in America. Hot trend products and services. So you got to watch these things. Let's go over them real quick. First, business ownership. Business ownership is important for 2 reasons. First, equity. You own the long-term value that your labor is creating. See, right now, if you worked on a company for 20 years and you leave and you left $10 million worth of business at the company, your grandbabies don't benefit off that. That's somebody else's legacy. That's somebody else's equity that you built. See, we're taught to understand equity when it comes to renting a house versus buying a house. If all things are equal, we'd much rather pay $1,500 a month on the mortgage for the house and we're the owner versus $1,500 of rent when somebody else owns it. Because either way, when we pay our $1,500, equity is being built. But only if we're paying the mortgage, we're the owner, do we own the equity. Well, the same thing. If you don't own the business that you're putting your 40, 60, 80, all your blood, sweat, and tears in, well, all the value that you gave to it, all the growth, you own none of it. Your grandbabies don't benefit from none of it. Where if you spend some of your time building a business of your own, developing a customer base, developing a brand, you own that. You own the equity as it grows, and you can will it, sell it, and pass it on. Second, tax advantages. See, that first obstacle is millions of Americans lose a third of their income to taxes. Why? Because they're not business owners. It has nothing to do with a politician writing a bill that will benefit, give tax preferential treatment to the poor middle class. That tax law is already in place as long as the poor middle class start a business. So our online educational system, it focuses on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. And it's delivered through a web-based business. So now you get access to all the same tax advantages of every other independent contractor, every other self-employed person, every other business out there. You just have to know why you're getting involved in business. It's not about the product. It's going to take you time to sell the product. Yes, you got to sell the product. But if you don't understand the tax advantages of being in business, even while you're selling the product, you're leaving money on the table. You're not writing off your car and truck expenses. You're not writing off your cell phone. You're not writing off your internet access. You're not writing off your travel. See, the IRS says that if you're a business owner, you can even pay your children and grandchildren to help you in the business. Why are you giving your children allowances? Why are you buying them Christmas gifts and birthday gifts? The wealthy don't do that. They pay their children to help them in the business, and those wages are used to buy the gifts, the Christmas gifts, the daycare, the karate classes, the Little League. You got to level up. You have to get more knowledge. You have to learn more about your money than LeBron's money. More about your money and your team than your fantasy football team. You have access to it. See, you can't be in excuse mode. The masses can't be in excuse mode these days because we have access to all the information. So now, let's look at the second one. Leveraged income. Old timers back in the day used to say, I work hard for every dime I make. Well, I got something to be proud of until you can't work no more. And the money stops. See, work is honorable, but we're not talking about just work. We're talking about building a legacy. We're talking about being able to retire. We're talking about getting your 40 to 60 hours back so you can spend it like you want. You can spend it with your family, your friends. You can give value to other people's lives. But you have to replace yourself with an income-producing asset. And you can grow it faster with help than without help. If you opened up a gym, you wouldn't teach the Pilates classes, the yoga classes, do the personal training, check people in, new membership orientation. No, you would recruit some people to help you do all of that. You would be getting help. And every time they did their job effectively, it made themselves and you more money. So you have to have a leveraged income system. So that means you have to earn income not just on your efforts, but on the efforts, time, talent, education, leadership, and money of other people, just like your employer does when you go to work. So you participate in the system, but on the wrong side of it. So we're not saying quit your job. We're saying you have to complement what you're doing and incorporate these principles. And then you have to get paid off the work you do today 2 years from now. See, think about it. 3 months ago, you worked 40 hours, got paid for those 40 hours, and you never get paid on those hours again. That's archaic. You need to do work today. Think of, let's say you have Sprint as your carrier now, and you have it for the past 5 years. Well, 5 years ago, they did something to get you as a customer, to get you to switch over. They've been making money off whatever they did right 5 years ago, every single month for the past 5 years. You have to put yourself in a situation to do the same thing. So you have to have a leveraged pay system that allows you to make money off other people's efforts, time, energy, and expertise, just like the wealthy do it. And you have to have a residual-based income. You do work now, and you continue to get paid off of that book of business. And when that book of business gets big enough and it takes care of all of your overhead, you're financially independent, i.e. retired. Let's look at the third one, which helps facilitate that. And that's being in a position to identify and take advantage of hot trend products and services without ever having to change strides, without ever having to break stride. So you don't want to have to rebrand yourself every time something else comes along. And we've been fortunate enough, I've been fortunate enough since '95 to be doing business with folks and mentoring people that understood that. So early on, I was able to take advantage of reselling long distance when long distance bills was high, and then we're reselling and brought people's bill down super low. And as that was leveling out a little bit, then prepaid calling cards took off. And we took advantage of that. And we never had to break stride. We just incorporated into the same system we have. See, whether it's social, technology, finance changes, it causes millions of people to move in a hurry. They spend money, they purchase certain products and services, but in a very short period of time. And when that happens, that causes people to make fast income. I don't mean fast income in a sleazy way. I mean fast income in a supply and demand way. And massive amounts of income and earnings is made at the same time. Let me give you one example. When iPhone announced the launch of the sale, opening day sale of its last phone, millions of Americans went out on that day and purchased that product. So you had millions of people, took action, spent money, very short period of time, and tremendous amount of money was made in a very short period of time, and wealth was generated. See, that goes on all the time. But see, in America, you're either at the table or you're on the menu. See, you either own the Apple store and they had to come to your store and buy it, or you were in the line buying the Apple products. See, so you have to position yourself as an entrepreneur. You have to, in your business, has to have a residual and a leverage pay system, and then it has to allow you to be able to transition into other industries without ever having to break stride. And when you do that, your income levels may become unsustainable. You're able to sustain it because you're constantly following that curve. You're always in position to grow and grow fast. And fortunately, our system gives you the ability to do that. Why? Because our first product, our flagship product, is our income shifting membership. And that membership is, in fact, our online educational system that focuses on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. It gives you the tools you need to win financially. Now, let me give you what those tools are. First, we help you get immediate cash flow. And this is the easiest one. In fact, this helps the most people upfront right away. See, the IRS helps us out. They said that 80% of the workforce, that's 100 million working Americans, have too much money withheld from their paycheck for taxes. And they're only doing that because they don't know. Listen to this. I was talking to a group of 9th graders about tax refunds. And I was like, you know, there's people so excited about their big tax refunds. But I said, if you overpaid your money, gave too much money, every single pay period, and then at the end of the year had to wait for your money to come back to you, would you be excited about getting that money back, your own money back? They're like, no, that's stupid. Why would you overpay the money in the first place? Exactly. The reason people are getting these big tax refunds is because they're overpaying their taxes. Why are they overpaying their taxes? It's because they're filling out this little form, the form W-4, letters A through H. The second worksheet, 1 through 10. They're filling this form out and they're losing their valuable dollars that they need to help them get to retirement. 9th graders understood it. They're like, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? So what we're telling the masses that are employees, rewind. Let us help you get this form right. So our associates, those that come in business with us, that's the first thing we do. We help them correct that. And it's transitioned extra $200 to $500 back into their paycheck. So they position themselves as entrepreneurs. We help them fill out the allowance worksheet, and then we help them fill out the deductions, adjustments, additional income worksheet, and it shifts $200 to $500 back into their paychecks. That wasn't because they got a second job. That wasn't because they worked overtime. That's because they got some knowledge, they took action, and they applied the information they had. So that's our first one. So if you're one of those individuals that want more money, need more money, want to put $200 to $500, your dollars back in your paycheck, then once we're done here, you're going to get with the person that invited you. You're going to go to their website, they're going to get you enrolled, and we're going to shift your W-4, adjust your W-4. It's that simple. Blueprint. Next, smart credit system. Either, first of all, we clearly understand how important credit is. It can determine how much money you pay for the mortgage for the next 30 years of your life, the next 5 years, how much you're going to pay for that car, how much you're going to pay for the use of a credit card, how a potential employer is going to look at you stacked up to another applicant based on your credit scores. Lowest credit score loses. What about when it's time to get insurance and your insurance premium gets reevaluated and your score is down, you're seen as a higher risk, and they use that to make you pay a higher premium? All important areas of your life. So let me ask you this, something so important, how can you be comfortable with delegating that to somebody else? What you're going to pay for the next 30 years to someone else. Your potential ability to get a job or not get a job, delegate it to someone else. How can you with conscience do that? Most people, if they think about it that way, wouldn't. With all the identity theft that's going on, you feel comfortable with passing your Social Security around to 3 and 4 parties out there? No. So we have a system within this membership, our income seeking membership. It's a 10-module, 26-video system. It's the blueprint. It's the step-by-step-by-step. It's the recipe to repair, build, and maintain great credit. Everything you need. All you got to do is apply yourself to it. Take action and watch some videos and then do what it says. All incorporated in that system. So first we give you $200 to $500 back in your paycheck, and then we give you a tool that you can use to repair, build, and maintain great credit for yourself. And now you also have a tool that you can use to help others, whether it's just helping family members or whether it's setting up a business to help others. You're empowered. Let's look at the next one. Cash flow manager software. See, I already told you that there are hundreds of deductions that business owners have access to. Well, guess what? The IRS says you're more than welcome to get those deductions, but you're only going to qualify for them if you do 2 things. One, you operate your business with a profit intent. Well, if you want to get your life back, get your hours back, you're going to need all the money you possibly can get. So when you start this business, it should be for the intent to make a 5-6-figure income so you can get free faster. So first, you operate your business with a profit intent, and then second, you keep good records. So if we were to tell someone to come in business with us, now you need to go keep good records, they didn't learn how to do that when they got their engineering degree, their law degree, or their medical degree, or they went through the firefighter academy, or the police academy, or teachers. They didn't learn how to do that. So we incorporate in our system the Cash Flow Manager app, which allows you from the convenience of your smartphone, tablet, or computer to tabulate, to calculate, to collect income, expenses, mileage, as well as take digital imaging of your receipts. And it categorizes all the items in the proper categories, totals them all up as you go, and now at the end of the year, you come to see myself or another tax professional, you have everything you need. See, preparing your taxes is like game day. Practice is when you prepare for game day so you can show up and show out. So proper tax planning and tax strategies throughout the year is what allows you to win come tax time. So we give you an app, a source, that now help you out with that process. Let's go to the 4th one, debt. We already talked about millions of Americans have too much debt. Well, guess what? Especially this time of year, after all that Christmas shopping they did. They have all that debt, caused their credit score to go down, but they didn't get any extra money in their paycheck to start paying the debt down. Think about that. They increased all that debt, but their pay didn't go up. So now how are they supposed to get rid of that debt? Well, all the associates come in business with us, it's okay. Because remember, the very first thing we do is shift the correct the W-4 and put $200 to $500 in your paycheck. Voila, there's the money to help to apply to getting rid of the debt faster. We also incorporate in our system, though, a debt elimination software. It's the step-by-step how to prioritize your debts in an order that allows you to get rid of them the fastest. The faster you're getting rid of debt, the more you're freeing up the cash that was servicing that debt. That's more you have cash you have to go and work for you. And the ultimate situation is to be debt-free when you go into retirement, because now less of your cash flow has to go to servicing debt. It's more of your cash flow you have to go to servicing your lifestyle. Much better to have your cash servicing your lifestyle than servicing debt. The 5th and final component of this membership is our investment education training. See, the reason so many people struggle in America financially is not because of all these things that are attracting their attention that have to do with finance. No, it's the knowledge they lack specific to finance and money. So how does money work? How does it grow? You got to learn the language of money, the terminology, so you can move in that community. You can understand what you're doing. What's a stock? What's a bond? What's compound interest? What's dollar cost averaging? What's a real asset? What's a commodity? What's real estate? How do you measure your return on your investment? How do you determine which investment is going to give you a better return? What's your risk tolerance? So you have to learn all those things and then be comfortable using them and weaving it out. And then you have to understand the importance of owning a piece of America. See, when you own a piece of America, other people around the world make you money. See, come Easter time, I want you to do this, parents. Buy your son or daughter, instead of an Easter suit, buy them a share of Nike stock. Buy them a share of a stock of a company that everyone around the world is buying. And now they're going to make your baby money. Screw an Easter outfit. You can't care what people in church think about you. You, the CEO, you got to make moves that moves your family, that helps you level up. Now, in addition to our income shifting membership, what we decided to do is copy the success of other companies like Walmart. So the same way that we create distribution for our associates by having them provide memberships, Walmart creates franchise. They sell franchises to create their distribution. Well, if you go to a Walmart franchise, you're going to see anywhere from soap powder, groceries, you're going to see sporting goods, clothes, a variety of products and services representing multiple billion-dollar industries. Well, guess what? Every single membership that we sell comes attached with it a personalized website that also lists other company products and services that do the same thing, represent multiple billion-dollar industries. That means from one location, you can help people improve their finances. From one location, you can now also service multiple billion-dollar communities. Like what? Cashback Mall. You cannot tell me online shopping isn't a beast. Ask Sears. Amazon crushed them because Sears was slow to adapt. So Amazon's online shopping machine ate them up. So now every single one of our associates' websites have a mall on it. Over 1,000 stores. Many of them are household names. Walmart, Macy's, Best Buy, Brandsmart, Toys R Us, Vistaprint. 1,000 of them represent over 1 million products. So now you are that mall that they go shopping. When they go shopping online, they go to you. You're a one-stop shop. They want to get free. They want some financial tools. They go to your website. They want to do some online shopping. They can go to your website. What if they want to travel? All of our websites have a travel portal. They click on our travel portal, sends you the price line. You know how good they are. They get the same price line value, same price line discounts. And you get commission because they went to your site. See, you're not in the travel business. Ask people, can they travel with you? You're the one-stop shop for whatever they need. They know they can go to your site and get what they want. Now, guess what? So they can book that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your mall, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's how you make money in your sleep. They don't have to call you to see how the prices look going to Chicago. Identity theft. Oh, it's a perfect time to be in that. Everybody's worried about their social security numbers, social rating out there. They're praying and hoping that somebody didn't file their taxes before they did. I got so many people calling me, they're in a rush now. They want to file before somebody fraudulently files. So ID theft protection. They can go to your site, a billion-dollar industry, and buy 24/7, anywhere, anytime. What about credit? 68 million people have bad credit. So some people, they already have a business. They already have a system, but they need something, a tool to help them repair their credit. And see, this isn't like a car wash. See, a car wash, you can afford to say, well, I'm going to let somebody else detail it for me. I'm going to sit back and read a magazine. Whereas some people like getting their hands dirty doing it themselves. No, with credit, you want to do it yourself. You want to learn so you know that the job is getting done right and is getting done in an efficient and effective way. See, ask somebody who's been having someone else do their credit and it's still 2 years, they're not where they want to be. Because they're not doing it for you. They're doing it for them, all that monthly. That's why they're doing it. They don't care that in 6 months you want to buy a house. They're just trying to soak it out. That's their game. That's how it works. That's how the industry works. So there are people that say, no, I want to take charge of it and I want it done now. So now all of our 70,000 plus websites that are out there, they can go to. You can build you an individual location that everybody goes to, or you can grow you a network of them. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Let's get past this fifth one, but it's not the last. We have much more going on than just these right here. Now, retail cash flow management. Now, all of our associates, we get in our membership all these things. So you get the cash flow manager inside the membership. But guess what? There are insurance agents out there. There are realtors out there. There are network marketers out there. There are all types of independent contractors, personal trainers, small business owners out there that need to be able to keep good records, but they don't have a system. They're one of those shoebox folks. This time of year, they start going into their shoebox and pulling out all these receipts and trying to figure out which ones they can read, can't read. Then they got to put them up chronological order. Then they got to add them all up. Or worse, they give it to a tax person, and now they get charged out the yin yang to get that done. See, our associates don't go through that. We have an app that allows us to do it efficiently. So now people understand that, and now they can go to your website and get that app. And now they pay for it monthly. You get monthly residual income. So we give you the ability to do every single thing that I described in those 3 keys to obtaining personal financial success. Business owner, you get to build equity in this business that you own, will, can sell. Simultaneously, you're getting tax preferential treatment day one that also causes you to be able to put more money in your paycheck immediately. We help you build a leverage and residual income because you're building a team of entrepreneurs. See, last thing I'm going to address on this slide, and it's really I can go to the next slide as we go start talking about compensation, is this. When we start talking about building a team, people start going into, oh, that sounds like one of those pyramid things. Now, someone who's less experienced will be like, no, it's not a pyramid. No. It's exactly a pyramid, just like your job. There's someone at the top. Day one, that might be you. And if you build a team under you, it's going to look like this. Just like when you go to work tomorrow, there's someone at the top. You'll never make more money than they will, and you never take their spot. And there's a whole bunch of more people at the bottom. So you just got to get the knowledge. And you think about this organizational structure or pyramid that way because you heard someone else say it. Someone else told you that. So now every time you think about it, you have a choice. Do I think about it as one of those little pyramid things, or do I think about just like every major organization in America, corporate America, or government is shaped like that? And then there's this thing about recruiting. Oh, but I don't know if I can recruit. Well, as soon as you talk like that, of course you can. You can do anything that you want to do. If someone just gave you a brand new state-of-the-art gym, the key, everything's ready, but it's only you. Are you going to do it by yourself? Or are you going to get to recruiting some personal trainers? Are you going to get to recruiting some yoga instructors, some Pilates instructors? Yes, you are. So you have to shift your mindset. And then it's simple. And the compensation associated with building it and getting a leveraged income can put you in a position to where it's life-changing. Let's give a look at it. Why? Our system is the fastest pay, fast promotion system in the industry, bar none. Once you have sold 2 memberships, and our memberships are easy to sell because all the value that I just talked to you about, you can get for less than $50. Any individual component of our income stream membership is worth that. But you get all of that plus the knowledge for under $50. So once you've sold 2, we consider, once you enroll 2 people in membership, we consider those your training sales. You earn $10 each. But going forward, you have 25% income match in those individuals. In other words, one of those individuals make $1,000, the company's going to compensate you with $250. One of them will make or both make $5,000. The company's going to give you $1,250. 25% income matching or whatever they do, and whatever they make going forward for as long as they're in the company. Well, guess what? Now you just got promoted. Now every time you enroll someone in membership, instead of $10, you get $35. Every time you do it, 1 week later, unlimited time, no time limit. As long as you do it. Now, those individuals, you help someone new get in business, right? You got $35 commission. They help someone new. You can get $25 on that. That person helps someone new. Another $25. That person helps someone enroll in the membership. Another $25. Unlimited through infinity. So now that's leveraged pay system. But now, don't forget, we said you have to have a royalty residual type of pay. Well, guess what? Those individuals, they maintain their businesses. So once they maintain their membership, their 5th month, now you earn up to $8 residual income every single month off not just the ones that you personally enroll, but your entire team. So what happens if you got a team of 100? A team of 500, a team of 5,000? Well, Zuckerberg getting paid off $13,000 employees. What happens if you have a team of 13,000 distributors? Well, guess what? There's 100 million people that got their W-4s wrong, so there's a need there. There's 68 million that got bad credit. There's a need there. There's 96% of the workforce that have those 5 obstacles working against them and they can't retire. There's a need there. So, of course, you can build it. But guess what? All you have to do is focus on the principle of 3 is the key. If you can just envision yourself being able to share this information with enough people that just 3 people say, this is valuable to my life and I need it. Just 3. Because if you can envision yourself doing that, then it makes sense that those 3 can do the same thing. So now you go from having 3 people in your team to an additional 9. Well, those 9 can do the same thing. Now you have additional 27. Those 27 in return do the same thing. Well, now you have 81. Those 81 do the same thing. That's 243, and so on and so on and so on. See, what happens if your business starts growing at 25 new memberships a week? That's an extra $625 a week. At the end of that 12-month period, your team would have grown to over 1,250 memberships, earning up to $10,000 a month. See, because you have a leveraged pay system, your production far outgrows anything you can imagine doing by yourself. That's how come the income can grow so fast. That's how CEOs of companies, their income can grow so fast because they have help building the company, which means they have help making their income. What happens if your team continues to grow and it starts growing at a pace of 100 new memberships a week? Well, that's $2,500 a week. After a 12-month period of that type of growth, that's over 5,000 memberships. Earning up to $8,000 a month residual income, earning up to $40,000 a month. See, the reason most people can't just fathom, just can't imagine themselves making $40,000 a month is because it's only them. They've never had an opportunity that they get a degree that's now going to allow them to make $40,000 a month. They get a skill set that they can use themselves that's going to allow them themselves to make $40,000 a month. But when you look at what people are doing on the internet, you look what the Zuckerbergs are doing, you look at even some of the athletes, some of these owners of these teams, the type of money they're making, because they're leveraging. Look at the last one, the last example here, 250 new memberships a week. There's millions of people that need help. Well, that's going to pay a little over $6,200 a week. There's people who don't make that in a month because they're doing it all themselves, because they work hard for every dime they make themselves. Well, after 12 months of that type of growth, that's 12,500 new memberships. Earning up to $8,000 a month residual income on those. That's $100,000 a month. See, it's simple. The difference between $100,000 a year, which is great, and $100,000 a month, which is phenomenal, is belief. You believe that you can do better, and now you start learning and you take action, so you do better. So you believe that excuses don't benefit you or drive you or control you. Instead, you take productive action, and then you can do it. You start realizing your potential. Your actions give you the results. And now you're even more fired up and you realize even more your potential. And then those actions give you even more results. And you're even more fired up. It's a vicious, positive cycle. And you have to invest in yourself to achieve that. You have to invest in yourself to get around people that have the knowledge, the energy, the motivation that's infectious. See, think about this, and then I'm done. The next page, we're done, literally done. I want you to think about this. There are people in our circles that in 2018 invested over $250. I'm going to talk Miami. There are people here in Miami, and towards the end of 2018, invested over $250 to go to a concert of a popular artist. And guess what? Probably a tenth of those same people are spending $100 to go to a business conference here, a 3-day business conference here that have multi-billionaires in it, millionaires in it, that has the founder of Spanx speaking, Steve Harvey speaking, John C. Maxwell, author of 21 Fearful Rules of Leadership, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, Shark Tank CEO, Fubu CEO, all speaking, giving their valuable knowledge, but they find more value in investing in entertainment than investing their knowledge. So we're all in our situations we're in right now, good, bad, or indifferent, because of us. We're going to get out of our situations we're in right now if we want to level up and do better because of us. So all you have to do is get back to the person that invited you onto this live. Get back to the person that invited you to this conference call, this webinar. They're going to take you to their website. You're going to invest $49.95 in yourself. If you're a W-2 employee, we're going to immediately show you how to shift your adjust your W-4 and shift valuable dollars back into your paycheck. You're going to have immediate access to 26 videos as a part of our smart credit system. You're also going to immediately download your cash flow manager app. Put in your $49.95 as the first transaction. Put in your cell phone, internet access, reoccurring expenses. You'll have immediate access to our debt elimination software. You can start prioritizing your debt as you use some of that cash flow to start knocking it out, to free up some more of your dollars. Our investment education, how you turn your cash into assets that bring more cash. People aren't losing financially, not where they are financially, because they need to lose 10, 20 pounds. Sure, that's going to help them get a little more healthy, get a little more energy, but that's not why they're not where they are financially. So the skinny teas, the diets, that's good to help you feel better, but it's not why we're missing financially. Credit alone is not why. See, think about it. If you live in paycheck to paycheck and we give you 850 credit, you still live in paycheck to paycheck. Your income didn't change. So it's more than that. You got to take a holistic approach to learning and then applying specifics to finance and money. $49.95 one time gets the ball rolling for you. Gets our support, our system, our access to everything that we have locally where you are and nationwide. And then after 30 days, it's just $34.95 a month to maintain it. It maintains all the software, all the systems, the merchant accounts, everything you need to do everything that I just talked about. And the best thing of it all, it's all 100% tax deductible. The $49.95, tax deductible. The $34.95, tax deductible. Tomorrow, your mileage can start becoming partially tax deductible. Your cell phone, your internet access, partially tax deductible. The travel that you're planning already the rest of the year, tax deductible. Now you can stop just paying your children allowances, buying them stuff, paying for daycare, paying for karate classes and their football gear. You can pay them wages for helping you in the business. I know you don't know how to do that yet, but our system is going to teach you how to do that. And once you pay them the wages, you use that money that you just got 100% tax deduction for to now pay for the daycare, to now pay for the karate classes, to now pay for money when they go to the movies with their friends. There's levels to it. And the only reason millions of Americans haven't been doing it is because they don't know and someone hasn't told them. But once you know it, it helps wipe away all those excuses and you feel confident and comfortable to kick it into action that's going to help you obtain personal financial success. So I want to thank you for taking time. You're on this webinar, you're on the conference call, for joining us via this conference call and webinar. We can never give you the time back, so I hope that I provided value to you. And of course, as always, we thank you all that came on and joined us live on Facebook, or if you're watching the replay, thank you. Take action now. Go to the person that sent you to this Facebook Live or this replay. Get back with them, contact them, message them, text them, email, carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do so you can get started today. So thank you all. God bless and good night. Let me come around the other side and show you guys some love that's been bearing with us here on Facebook. See if our technology held up. Looks pretty much like it held up pretty good tonight. I see Michelle out there. Jesse's out there. Yeah, we got some folks out there joining us. So appreciate you guys joining us. Appreciate you very, very much. All right. Let's pull this back a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead offline and then say hello. Got Brad out there, RD, Nick Padron, my buddy in New York, NYC, photographer extraordinaire. What up, Nick? Nabel, Andre Stinson. All right. Evan Rivera, welcome, welcome. Tracy Brown. All right. Davis. Jean Lances. Chad, my man. What's up, Chad? Got Courtney Estep, Bevy G, Ronald Jones, Masalis. Apostle Moore, welcome, welcome. Glad you was joining us. Appreciate you. Anthony Moore. Keith Tucker, DMV. Pam Sam, H-Town. Ken Riley, my man. Yolanda Cotton, rocking and rolling. Richard Medley, Arkansas. Kimberly Pike, NY. All right, I think that's everybody. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to close this out. And again, I appreciate y'all. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's really simple. You get the recipe, follow the recipe, you can win. Simple. No excuses, more action.